Let's bring in Transnet into this conversation now. We've got Transnet's managing executive who's responsible for Durban and Richards Bay ports, Mr. Moshe Motlohi. Thank you very much for your time this evening. And I mean, maybe we just weigh in on what I've just read there, the previous story about concerns by industry bodies that the biggest concern here is the Bayhead Road, because it's the main access point, and really just the time it will take for that at least to be repaired.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. Let me give the feedback. We indeed have been hit hard by the storm. Bayhead Road was eroded, a section of it, which has made the road to be unusable. But today we had a team of engineers with private sector parties as well, sending teams to look at how best can we recommission the road quickly. We will be getting the proposal tomorrow morning, where we will then taking the quickest route to establish that. We're being mindful that Bayhead Road itself services container sector and petroleum cluster, which is Island View. We have come up with a solution that is going to at least ensure that there's fuel supply into KZN, where with industry going to work on having limited number of trucks using a route that is going to be shared with them to access Island View for them to start supplying fuel. Then we have an immediate intervention where we've identified another route that we're looking at recommissioning quickly. Tomorrow, as soon as when we get the proposal, we'll then share that with industry. But really, everyone wants to see that route open so that we can service the industry.
No, absolutely. There's also been the suggestion that we can use the Richards Bay or Cape Town ports to facilitate the backlog, which one would imagine will accumulate because of this destruction. I mean, how viable is that?
It all depends on where the cargo comes from and where it is destined to. Some of the cargo is already in the port. With that cargo that is already in the port, we are continuing the operation resumed today, where ships loading activity started, and we will continue loading the stuff that is in the port. But if the cargo is nearest to the port of Durban, we will then really have to rely on the Durban corridor. But if customers choose the other ports, it is still fine. But our focus really here is to reactivate Durban and make sure that it is 100% operational. Right now, we've got sections that are operational and some sections that are dependent on the Bayhead Road being opened.
No, and I was going to ask you that as my next question, in terms to what extent have you got operations going? It was indicated to us that from about 6 a.m. this morning, you did open up some operations. Just give us a better sense of how much capacity that particular area has to operate at the moment.
Durban has got 5 precincts. They handle different commodities. For example, this morning we were able to sail an auto carrier, a ship that carries cars. That ship was ready to sail. That one we've released, and we're able to bring in a container ship that has to come. And the movement of ship is also dependent on how fast we clean the debris that is in the bay. We have cleaned about 45% of the debris that was deposited by the storm yesterday. However, one gets concerned seeing that there's still some rain coming, and there will be some debris that is coming as a lacking activity into the port, but we're cleaning that, and the intention really is to have it sorted out in the next 48 hours so that we can begin to say the movement of ship across all the precincts is there to be executed. We also have allowed the customers who are loading some bulk products, if they've got stock in hand, to load the product so that when the time is ready for shipment, we can do that without difficulties.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much for your time this evening and for the clarity that you've provided there for us. That's Transnet's managing executive responsible for Durban and Richards Bay ports, Mr. Moshe Motlohi, giving us an update this evening, saying that there are some operations that are happening, but there's a lot of repair work and cleaning up of debris so that those ways can be cleared up for operations to continue.